What's up, guys? It's Lord Botha here with another video, and we just got another twist in the story that's been going on all week, which is, why can't people in the media, any kind of media in entertainment, just shut the hell up? And this latest one comes to us via the dying boomer institution of late night television. Because in the wake of Stephen Colbert's Late Show being canceled, well, Jimmy Kimmel decided to come out and say, this after the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half-staff, which got some criticism.
By the way, it's important to note that by the time this was filmed, everybody knew that the alleged assassin is indeed a confirmed leftist and in no way a conservative or a member of MAGA. So at this point, Jimmy Kimmel is just outright lying to his audience in the studio, to all the people watching his show, though there's not a ton actually watching. And most of them are boomers and Gen Xers who are just lifelong liberals and Democrats at this point because they know what they're going to get watching Jimmy Kimmel. And this is not the first time Jimmy Kimmel said something that was highly controversial, like implying that it was okay to vandalize Tesla vehicles.
Tesla stock is way down, almost disastrously so. People have been vandalizing Tesla vehicles, new Tesla vehicles. Please don't vandalize. Don't ever vandalize Tesla vehicles. And so,
with the old wink, wink, nudge, nudge tactic, or stating that people who don't take certain jabs and then get sick didn't deserve ventilators and needed to, quote, rest in peace, Wheezy. Which to this day, I don't understand why what is just happening now didn't happen then, because that's a pretty horrific statement to just make about general people. But apparently these comments were so bad that, well, the networks just weren't having it anymore. Because, and this comes to us from Disclosed TV via Twitter X, Justin, Disney ABC takes Jimmy Kimmel off the air indefinitely amid controversy over his recent comments about Charlie Kirk's assassination. And it wasn't just because he made these horrific comments. It's because he made these horrific comments and he had terrible ratings, and actual local networks that put out the show, distributed the show, said that they were not going to actually distribute the show. What do I mean? Well, hear from Benny Johnson, breaking news, official ABC broadcast affiliate Netstar. What do I mean? Well, hear from Benny Johnson, breaking news, official ABC broadcast affiliate Nexstar is removing Jimmy Kimmel from all 32 of their ABC stations until Disney answers for Kimmel's despicable attack on Charlie Kirk. So basically, before Kimmel was suspended indefinitely, his show was suspended indefinitely, Nexstar was coming to ABC and saying, hey, we own all these broadcast stations. We're not going to put his show on if he's going to say things like this anymore. And it wasn't just them. Sinclair, another massive broadcasting station distributor, also said that they were not going to put Kimmel's program on their stations anymore. And pressure from those two massive stations was enough to really push ABC over the edge and say, hey, we can't do this anymore. And the thing is a massive, massive blow in the ratings. And even then, Sinclair doesn't think that's enough. From their official account on Twitter, it states, Sinclair says Kimmel's suspension is not enough, calls on FCC and ABC to take additional action. Which, by the way, the chair of the FCC was on the Benny Johnson podcast where he was talking about potential action against Jimmy Kimmel. Additionally, the Sinclair's ABC stations are to air a special in remembrance of Charlie Kirk during Jimmy Kimmel Live Friday's time slot. So instead of playing Jimmy Kimmel's show, they're gonna air a special that is a remembrance of Charlie Kirk. in honor of Charlie Kirk. The biggest fuck you possible they could give. And this isn't just a small thing either, because this is Sinclair, who states that they are the nation's largest ABC affiliate group, and they object to the recent comments made by Kimmel concerning the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And of course, you can expect that the response to this from the left and their organizations has not been a positive one. This from Discussing Film, in which they say SAG-AFTRA, which is, of course, the acting guild, right, is publicly condemning the decision to suspend Jimmy Kimmel's show. Democracy thrives when diverse points of view are expressed. The decision to suspend airing Jimmy Kimmel Live is the type of suppression and retaliation that endangers everyone's freedoms. Really, because I would think that a bullet shot from a high-powered rifle that, ended the life of someone that had discussions and debates with college students to engage with, political thought and freedom of speech was more a danger to everyone's freedom and the expression of diverse viewpoints than, say, canceling a television show. And maybe, just maybe, trying to muddy the water about the facts, the clear facts, right? The things that are public knowledge and put out there through people's own personal social media that were involved, and statements from families and friends, along with government officials. Purposefully ignoring all that information just to paint whatever picture, whatever lie you want in wake of that tragedy is a despicable thing that is worthy of getting canceled for, while, again, you've made horrific comments in the past about other things and other people, as well as being a complete ratings dumpster fire. But most hilariously of all, because ABC is owned by Disney, we now have Democrats, liberals, leftists, who have always been big, grown-up Disney fans, right? Always in support of Disney and their woke gay agenda, as they themselves have called it, and their massive support of LGBTQ assimilation into their programming, and their increased love of DEI hires and promotion, to where they even had racial breakdowns of television shows and movies on who gets to be on screen for what characters when and all that, based upon their race and gender. These people that were in massive support of that, they are now calling for a boycott of Disney. Like Brian Krasenstein here, who says, boycott alert! Disney ABC just caved and pulled Jimmy Kimmel for political reasons. Nexstar, which owns the CW plus 200 plus local ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox stations, is part of the same machine. Boycott Disney, boycott Nexstar, boycott their advertisers, hit them where it hurts, the dollars, reshare. Okay, here's the thing. How are you going to boycott all those people and still get entertainment? Boycotting entertainment is incredibly difficult when it's a single product. When it's entire stations or entire brands, it's impossible. It's why the right has never tried it with Disney. The closest they've ever come is they say, cancel Disney Plus, or don't give Disney your money by go seeing Marvel movies. By actually canceling the Disney brand, boycotting the Disney brand, no official movement like that is ever going to actually work or happen. Here we have the old JoJo from Jers, right? Who states, boycott everything affiliated with ABC and Disney. Pass it on. And here we have one of the hardest falling people in media I've ever seen in my life, Keith Olbermann, who states, burn in hell, Sinclair, with a repost of that Sinclair statement where they say that, Kimmel's suspension is not enough. But he says, burn in hell, Sinclair, along with Charlie Kirk. Holy fuck, dude. This guy has lost his marbles, man. This guy used to have a segment called Worst People in the World. He probably does on whatever shit podcast he still does, because he's been ostracized from the media so much for being an absolute shitbag. And I don't even mean for political reasons in this way. I mean that he just is, in general, spoken about a lot as not a good person. But he should be on the star as worst person in the world every single fucking segment that he has. This may be also an important time to remind you that these same people that are calling for a boycott of Disney because Jimmy Kimmel got fired, because that's essentially what's happened here, he's been fired, are the same people that gloated and laughed and thought it was a moral good that Gina Carano got fired from Disney for sharing a meme. Oh, it's funny, isn't it? Oh, it's funny how the turntables turn, don't they? And the problem is, it's not stopping. In fact, if anything, it might get even worse. We might see the end of the horrible boomer institution of late night television that serves as no purpose other than to just spread leftist propaganda at this point. They're not funny. They don't provide any added information. They used to provide insight into the human lives of actors and inside people in Hollywood and all that, singers, songwriters, etc. But the problem is, with the invention of social media, we don't need that anymore either. So exactly what's the point of them anymore? But we might see the end of all that because, as Benny Johnson states here, President Trump tells NBC to cancel Jimmy Fallon and Seth Meyers following the cancellation of Jimmy Kimmel. In a Truth Social post, President Trump states here, "Great news for America. The rating-challenged Jimmy Kimmel show is canceled. Congratulations to ABC for finally having the courage to do what had to be done. Kimmel has zero talent and worse ratings than even Colbert, if that's possible. That leaves Jimmy and Seth two total losers on fake news NBC. Their ratings are horrible. Do it, NBC, President Donald J. Trump." And what does he mean by that? Well, that means he wants Jimmy Fallon and Seth Meyers gonzo as well. And let's be honest, he's right. They are ratings black holes. Nobody watches them. Of all these shows, people probably watch Fallon the most. Coincidentally, he's also the least political of all of them. But still, he obviously has political left leanings. And again, he doesn't drive in any ratings to justify his show existing. I mean, when's the last time anybody under the age of 55 watched a late night television show? I mean, other than the clips they see on TikTok or X or even YouTube. No, that's the only place anyone younger than 55 has probably seen these shows, at least anymore. At one point, they were actually a pillar of America. Now, nobody cares. The point here is that it actually makes business sense to get rid of Kimmel and the rest of them. And I think we're reaching a point where some of these companies are starting to realize that a lot of the loan funding and the, DEI incentive and all that funding from places like BlackRock and etc. are not really enough anymore. And they're dumping money into these shows that just aren't profitable. And they need to make a business decision. So now they're making business decisions and getting rid of these terrible programs that nobody wants to watch, hosted by uncharismatic hosts that want to do nothing but preach their own politics to a willing crowd that is already on their side. And all I can say is, good riddance. Who cares? Personally, it will be one last thing that raises my blood pressure. As for Jimmy Kimmel, I'm sure he'll be okay. He's made plenty of money in his time at that show, and he'll start some shitty podcast where he'll be continuously unfunny on, spreading the same liberal leftist propaganda that he was on the show, and continuously playing the victim on how he got fired. He'll probably even collab with Colbert, and hey, maybe they might even reminisce about the good times when they were actually funny. But I'm not holding my breath for that to actually happen. But hey, those are just my thoughts on all this. If you have your own thoughts, go and leave in the comments. If you liked this video, go and like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like this video, appreciate you watching all of it, and we'll talk to you again later.